In my rebirth, I stockpiled a van full of supplies to survive, hoping that this time I wouldn't be eaten by zombies. Before the zombie outbreak, I was still sleeping soundly in my dorm. I reached out and grabbed my phone at the edge of the bed. It was 10 o'clock a.m. on May 20th, 2025, which meant the zombie outbreak was only 5 hours away. My roommate, Mr. Mao, walked over and seemed like he wanted to say something but then closed his mouth. "Do you know about the zombies?" I asked. Mr. Mao looked surprised. "Did you also reincarnate?" Tears instantly filled my eyes. I wasn't fighting alone. In my past life, when the zombie outbreak happened, I was trapped alone in a supermarket. The pain of being torn apart is something I can still feel to this day. We definitely can't go to crowded places. How about we find a safe house first? I suggested, but if we stockpile a lot of supplies in the house, we'll look like a target to our neighbors. What should we do? Mr. Mao responded, "Maybe we should just leave the city in a car to avoid being surrounded by zombies." I said, "You're right. We can rent an RV and leave the city." Mr. Mao agreed. Since we attended a cheap university, and there was no money, I started borrowing from various platforms to gather 100,000 yuans. I then sent a message to Mr. Mao to handle the RV rental, while I went to the supermarket to stock up on food and other supplies. I took a taxi straight to a large nearby supermarket and pushed a shopping cart. First, I bought bagged instant noodles, braised beef, and various snacks. Then, I grabbed many frozen fried chicken packs. The room would definitely smell nice after this. Afterward, I packed dozens of boxes of ham sausages and canned luncheon meat. I finished by stocking up on 30 boxes of mineral water and 10 boxes of pure milk. When all the goods were stacked together, I felt worried. I didn't know if the RV Mr. Mao rented would be big enough to fit everything. Just as I checked my phone, I realized the zombie outbreak was only 2 hours away. Mr. Mao sent a message saying that the RV rental was complete and that he would come to pick me up once the gas tank was full. It would take him about 40 minutes. I should be able to make it, I thought. I put away my phone, but something felt off. I quickly went to the living goods section and bought a portable tent and some solar panel equipment. At p.m., with only 1 hour left before the outbreak, the RV finally arrived. We quickly moved all the supplies to the RV. But I suddenly realized something. We hadn't stocked up on medicines yet. "You go check if we can buy medicine. I'll keep moving the supplies," I said. I rushed to a pharmacy and asked the clerk for cold medicine and some disinfectant. When I reached the checkout, I looked outside and saw a woman suddenly dragging a man towards her. The man was caught off guard and instantly thrown to the ground. The air was filled with horrific screams, and my hair stood on end. The scene was so familiar. I instinctively checked my phone. It was 2:40 p.m. The zombie outbreak had come early. I quickly called Mr. Mao. The zombie outbreak happened earlier than expected. People outside the supermarket are already mutated. Have you finished loading the supplies? Leave immediately and meet me at the supermarket entrance. I'm only 500 meters away. I hung up quickly. Little girl, what did you just say? Zombies? Someone asked me. I nodded, quickly moving toward the exit. The store owner immediately started closing the roller shutters, but the loud sound attracted a zombie nearby. I grabbed a fire extinguisher and threw it hard at the zombie's head. Just then, the RV arrived. We climbed in, and I felt a wave of relief. But seeing the van full of supplies made me happy. The RV headed for the outskirts of the city, with zombies still trailing behind. It was terrifying, but Mr. Mao assured me, "Don't worry. My driving skills are good. We'll make it out of this." As evening approached, we finally left the city, driving north on the highway. There might be a glimmer of hope there. I finally felt a sense of relaxation. But that night, my phone received a text message from the news, urging everyone to stay home and wait for rescue. The army would be deployed for a purge, and supplies would be distributed. The message said not to panic, and we should all work together. The zombie outbreak was trending on social media, with tons of related information flooding in, just like in my past life. But this time, I didn't wait for help. I sought self-preservation. I knew the only way to avoid zombies was to get as far from the city as possible. When it got dark, we stopped the RV by an empty spot along the highway and pulled down the curtains, leaving only the roof window open for ventilation. For dinner, I used the RV's microwave to heat up fried chicken, which felt like a luxurious treat in these circumstances. I took a bite, and the crispy texture was amazing. It was so delicious. After eating, I realized that the sky had started to rain heavily. The sound of the rain against the roof felt like nature was crying for us. That night, I lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. Could we survive this? Of course we can, Mr. Mao said. Since we've been given a second chance at life, we're meant to survive. Hearing him say that, I finally fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, as dawn broke, a faint smell of decay filled the air. It was summer, and the temperature was high. There must be zombies nearby. Mr. Mao quickly started the RV, and the sound of the engine startled the zombies, causing them to chase after us. Thankfully, the RV's speed was much faster than theirs, and soon they were left behind. Since the internet is still working, I downloaded a national road map of the next city. Should we head there? I asked. No, Mr. Mao replied. Places with a lot of people are dangerous now. We need to avoid crowds and take small roads. By the 10th day of the apocalypse, the internet completely shut down. I guessed that the power system had first gone out, followed by the collapse of the network. Fortunately, the RV's roof had solar panels, and as long as we didn't use the air conditioning, the power in the RV would last. I tuned the radio and heard static at first. Eventually, I caught the official broadcast. Dear residents, please do not move around recklessly. We are in the process of clearing zombies. The death toll has reached 115,700. Please don't give up. The numbers may be cold, but they weigh heavily on our hearts. The sky outside also turned dark, and a violent storm broke out. It felt like the heavens were crying for us. I quickly grabbed a bucket to collect rainwater. Although it wasn't filtered, it would still be good enough for daily use. Just as I was heading back to the RV, I heard the growl of a zombie nearby.